fully turn your neck to the right side today, so you try your best to practice with you as long as it's possible for me. Okay. So sorry to hear that you're having some neck pain. It's never a fun thing. I know the experience of neck pain. So feel better, Petty, and just, just do your best, and of course, just lay in Shavasana. That could always help. All right, so everybody hears me okay? You can give me a little shout out if you got me. And we'll begin. Hello, Petty. Hello, Andriana. Nice to see you. Looking forward to sharing this flow. Let's see. Is this one? This angle's a little funny right now. Let me just get it back to where it was. How was that? It's decent. A little cockeyed. All good, cool, all right. Well, let's begin, shall we? Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Give me just one moment. So today's flow is working with many of the transitions that we've already done. One new transition, those of you that worked with Rebecca the other day in Inside Flow, she did an eagle to flying warrior like Ardha Chandrasana. We'll be doing that same transition that she used. So if you weren't there, I'll break it down for you. And we'll also just kind of break down eagle pose a little bit. Some of you, eagle pose is fairly easy. Others of you, eagle pose is a big challenge. And so I'm gonna give you a couple of tools for that before we get into the flow. The flow is fairly simple, I would say, not long and complex. We're going to use that as our, we'll warm up to it, and then we'll use the flow, and then we'll actually use it as our hip opening sequence to kind of just give ourselves a different direction. We will be doing wild things as well. So we'll bring back the same shoulder rotation that we were working on last time. So just to review, this is internal rotation when the bicep faces in. Same thing when the arm's overhead, the bicep facing in, internal rotation. External rotation, even though your palm is facing in. I'm going to show that from this angle over here. So internal rotation, external rotation, even when the arm's overhead. Internal rotation, external rotation when the arm is straight. External rotation, internal rotation. So you always look at the bicep and which way it's facing, not the hand, because if you think with the hand, you might think, oh, this is facing in internal rotation. That's not the case. This is actually a different joint. It's always the bicep. If it's rotating outward, regardless of where it is overhead or by your side or back behind you, if it's rotating outward, it's external rotation. That can be confusing. So in any sort of side plank, the suggestion that I have is to do external rotation. It keeps the humerus kind of locked in the shoulder socket. It's inevitable that your arm bone will internally rotate. That's normal. And so by trying to externally rotate, you're using both sides of the rotator cuff. They're like a pulley system, and they're keeping your arm bone more stable, okay? So we'll be doing that again. Also, yeah, and some hip openers. So let's get into it and see how we flow, okay? Let's come to child's pose. Arms out in front. Enjoy a full breath in and out. Another breath to get grounded and come into the space of practice.
Let's come forward to all fours, hands and knees on the in-breath. Arch and look up.
Exhale, round, gaze towards the navel.
Inhale, arch, look up.
Exhale, round.
Inhale, arch.
Exhale, round.
Inhale, arch, look up.
Tuck toes, exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog.
Take a few breaths here. Anything you'd like. If you want to pedal out the legs, you can. You want to move the hips side to side, you're welcome to. I'm choosing stillness today. Come forward to plank pose, inhale.
Grip your fingers into the ground, pause here, exhale. As your fingers grip in the ground, take one more breath in. Knees down, child's pose, exhale.
Let's flow through these postures. Come to all fours on the inhale. Tuck toes, arch.
Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog.
Plank pose, inhale, lift the heels, round your way forward.
Exhale, child's pose.
Inhale, all fours. Arch the back, look up.
Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog.
Inhale forward, let's add on, plank pose.
Knees down, this time bend the elbows lower down to the ground.
Little cobra, inhale, lift the heart.
Exhale, soften.
Two more just the same way. Inhale, lift the cobra, lift the heart.
Option to lift hands. Exhale.
One more round, inhale, lift the heart. Maybe lift the hands and feet.
Exhale.
All fours, inhale.
Child's pose, exhale.
We'll go for a swim to warm up the shoulders. Left arm, inhale.
Exhale, child's pose.
Right arm, inhale.
Exhale, child's pose.
All fours, inhale.
Tuck toes. Exhale, down dog.
Plank pose, same thing. Forward to plank.
Knees down, chaturanga.
3 times, inhale, lift the heart.
Exhale, release.
Heart and hands, inhale, lift up.
Exhale, release.
Heart, hands, then feet.
Exhale.
All fours.
Child's pose.
Take a swim, left side. Open it up. Right side. All fours, hands and knees.
Tuck toes, downward dog.
Let's add on. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Bend knee, open up the hip. We'll hang out here for a full breath in. And out. Straighten the leg on the inhale, square the hip. Step right foot forward. High up on the fingers, we take a breath in. Exhale it out. Gather strength in your legs, pull your feet toward each other, lift the hips. Press the right heel down into the ground and a little rounding of the upper back, get light in the fingers. Lengthen like a turtle coming out of its shell, head forward. Exhale to down dog. Plank pose, inhale. Knees down, chaturanga. Slide the hands wide, inhale, lift the front of the body. Soften into it. Press or sag the chest forward a little bit, then pull the belly up. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Child's pose, exhale. Let's go for a swim on the left side, inhale. Exhale. Right side. Exhale. All fours. Arch the back. Tailbone up, down dog. Left leg to the sky. Bend knee, open up hip. Hold here. Inhale, breathe into the left side. Exhale. Straight leg. Inhale, square the hip. Step forward. High up on the fingertips. Let's get prepared. Exhale it out. The tailbone wags straight back. Pull your feet toward each other. Press through the front heel. Round your back a little as you press from your buttocks to your heel so you get lighter in your fingers. And then lengthen through the top of the head. Exhale, down dog. Forward to plank. Knees down, chaturanga. Slide hands wide, fingertips, inhale, lift front body. Soften as you exhale. Stretch the abdomen long, inhale, lift the belly. Exhale, release. All fours, inhale. Child's pose as you exhale. Swim on the left, inhale. Big circle. Exhale. Swim on the right. Exhale. All fours. Tuck toes, down dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Step forward as you exhale. High up on the fingertips, take a breath, gather strength, inhale. Using your exhale to twist, turn the belly to the right. Shoulder follows, then the hand. We'll do a few of these. Inhale to unwind, breathe into your back. Exhale, twist, turn the belly, chest, shoulder. One more, inhale. Exhale, belly, chest, shoulder. Inhale, right hand to the inside of the foot. Plant the back heel down for warrior 2 feet. Exhale, turn the belly, chest, shoulder, side angle. Let's do a few more. Inhale. Press your right heel down. Exhale, turn the pelvis, belly, chest, shoulder. Again, inhale. Exhale, pelvis turns, belly, chest, shoulder, hand. Good. Inhale, hand to the ground. Pivot the back heel up, right hand outside of right foot. Exhale, straighten through the front leg and bow. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, straighten through the front leg and bow. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bend the knee. Down dog, exhale. Notice the right and left side. Plank pose. Inhale, grip the fingers. Knees down, chaturanga. Slide the hands wide, fingertips. Inhale, lift the front body. Exhale, soften, melt, chest forward. Inhale, stretch the abdomen. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Child's pose, exhale. Left side, inhale, stroke. Exhale, back. Right side, inhale. Exhale, back. Forward, all fours, hands and knees. Tuck toes, exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left leg to the sky. Step forward. Come on up on the fingertips, big breath in, get strong in the legs. Press through your left heel, exhale, belly, chest, shoulder, hand. Again, inhale, unwind. Exhale, belly, chest, shoulder, hand. Inhale. Exhale. Left hand to the inside of the left foot, back heel down, inhale. Exhale, pelvis, belly, chest, shoulder. Two more. Inhale. Exhale, pelvis, belly, chest, shoulder, hand. One more. Both hands down on the inhale. Back heel up, look forward. Exhale, straighten, bow. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten and bow. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten and bow. Inhale, bend. Down dog. Plank pose. Knees down, chaturanga. Slide hands wide, fingertips, inhale. Soften. Inhale, stretch the belly. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Child's pose, exhale. Come forward this time. Step your left foot outside of your left hand. Back knee stays down. Bend the back knee. Reach for the foot the best you can for a thigh stretch. Now, find your facilitated stretching, activating the muscles that are stretching. We do that by pulling your feet toward each other, your knees toward each other, so your hips lift a little bit, and gently pressing the foot back into your hand, okay? Keeping that, you can draw the foot in closer to your buttocks. Hold here, breathe. Stay with the activation and lean a little bit away from your hand, your front hand, your right hand, so you can, I'm going to show the different camera angle, so you can move the hand further to the right and start to lean over into it. This is going to stretch or allow you to stretch your belly longer. Okay, now your bottom shoulder is your weight-bearing arm. It'll tend to punch forward like you see me doing right here. You're going to try to soften it behind you, then spin it out, even if it means turning the hand out a little bit more that way. Okay, full breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. All right, start to unwind and release. Okay, now we're going to learn just a hip opening stretch that I love. It's like lizard pose and sort of like pigeon. So you see how I'm off on this 45-degree angle here with the leg. Toes are turned out. You're going to lift your hips a little bit and gently start to prime the hip outward. So externally rotate the thigh bone. The knee will fall outward. Now, what most people do, this is important, watch this. Most people rotate at their ankle. Now, stretching the ankle like that doesn't do anything for the hip. If anything, it just destabilizes your ankle joint. And you don't want to destabilize the ankle there because that's where we tend to sprain the ankle. So don't roll at the ankle, roll at the hip joint. So how do you know the difference? Well, you see how my big toe and big toe mound are trying to reach to the ground or are doing their best to stay on the ground? That's how I know I'm not rolling the ankle joint, but rather I'm rolling in my hip socket. So I'm trying to spin the femur bone inside the hip. This is a good angle, but let's just see if this might give you something a little bit different. Okay, you see it? You can see it, my upper hip here. See, it's rolling out, spinning this way. Okay, so now you can see from my body, it's going wider and wider as I'm just kind of priming it in and out. Now you could be doing this with the breath. I'm not necessarily matching the movement with the breath right now. Just getting my hips ready. We're doing a hip opening flow, so pretty much all of our flows are hip opening, but I'm targeting the hips today. All right. Come to all fours. Just take a moment for a breath. Child's pose. We're going to come forward with the right leg outside the right hand. Left knee down. Let's preemptively move the left hand out to the left and start to open up the chest. It's okay, right? If your shoulders forward for a moment while you go grab the back foot, that's totally cool. Again, you could use a strap. I don't know if I mentioned that on the first side. I apologize if I didn't. You could be using a strap to grab the foot. Sometimes I use the elbow instead of my hand, more so on the other side than this side. So it just, depends on the body proportions. Okay, so now once you have your foot, my suggestion is you draw your knees inward so you feel a little lift of the back inner thigh. You can see my back inner thigh lifts up as a result of the strength of the hip flexors. That's what we want. Okay, and then the foot gently kicks back into my hand. Once you have that set up, now really focus on the shoulder. We want to get it back. So sometimes for most people, it's like sagging the chest down works really well. But you might have access to move the shoulder head back and spin the bicep. You see that? Outward. Okay, that's really going to help you with your wild thing poses or anything, any kind of side plank. Externally rotating. And then you want to lean your body, your upper body, over into your hand. And when you do so, you might feel a lot of pressure on the outside of your hand. So I am always thinking press down into the thumb side of my hand
because when you externally rotate the arm, it puts the weight in the outside of the hand. So you want to make sure that you're also counteracting that by pressing through your thumb. Okay, that's called pronation of the forearm in opposition of your external rotation of your upper arm. Counter rotations. All right, release the thigh stretch. Adjust your feet any way you need, but we're gonna be like at a 45-degree angle with the front foot. And then we start gently, again, this is not the other side, so you gotta be listening, feeling the sensation as you go. I usually go very slow at first, priming the hip, letting it get warmed up. And it's not just going deeper and deeper. You see how I'm coming out of it a little bit too. So I'm not trying to force myself deeper and deeper each time. I'm listening as I go. And how you shift your weight, if your torso goes to the left a little bit versus if you stay centered, this may make a little bit of a difference, and you might want to see what happens. Sometimes I really like to go to the left with my torso as I'm going to the right with my thigh bone. Again, it's external rotation, and also you're going to notice that the ankle is not rolling out like this, right? The big toe is rolling down as I'm doing this. Even if it's not touching, it's trying to touch, okay? So it's trying to get the articulation out of the ankle and into the hip. Now I'm doing it with the breath, not on purpose, but all right, coming up out of that. All fours for a moment. Take a breath. Child's pose.
Take one breath in, child's pose. One breath out. Inhale to all fours, hands and knees.
Tuck toes, exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog.
Walk your feet to the front of the yoga mat. Half lift. Exhale and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. One more, inhale. Exhale. Hands to the hips, arch the back, rise all the way up.
All right, so just a quick note that eagle pose is one of the postures we're doing, and side plank or wild thing is the other posture we're doing. And those two poses in the shoulders have opposite actions. So we can do this at a wall at first. So I'm going to show you from the back side. Find a wall, place your hands on it, and do what's called protraction. So separate your shoulder blades away from one another, keeping your elbows straight, then sink your chest to the wall, and your shoulder blades should come toward one another. Then push away from the wall, shoulder blades away from one another. Let me see if I can get you a different angle here that maybe will work. Not that one. Let's see, if I go over here, maybe this will be better. So shoulder blades towards each other, your body will go towards the wall. Shoulder blades away from one another, your body goes away from the wall. So do a few of those, trying not to bend the elbows and straighten them, just keep them straight the whole time. Okay, these are like scapula push-ups. Again, your elbows are straight the whole time. What's moving is your scapula, your shoulder blades. A few more. Okay, so come back to the top of your yoga mat. Those scapula push-ups are meant to help you understand the difference between retraction, protraction. When your shoulder blades are apart, that's protraction. That's going to be very helpful for eagle pose. When your shoulder blades are retracted together, that's going to be helpful for wild thing pose. All right, let's get going. Let's continue. Come to chair pose on the inhale. Hold here. And get the body warmed up. Lean the knees and hips back. Press the heels out so your back outer hip muscles awaken. These outer hip muscles, when you press the heels out, they're called your abductors. Your abductor muscles are really powerful when we do, what's the pose again? Wild thing pose. They'll help you lift your hips up because the legs are turned out. It's a long story, but it'll help you lift your hips up. But in eagle pose, these hip muscles are actually stretching. So right now we're strengthening them, warming them up by pushing the heels, the back of your hamstrings, the back of your buttocks out. You get to really feel this upper band and outer hip band active. Okay, so let's heat it up. Take the arms up. 2 more breaths. Keep the focus on pushing the heels out. One more breath. Exhale, bow.
Now come to a halfway lift here. You can bend your knees if you need to, but same idea. Let's actually bend the knees on purpose. Bend the knees a little bit, but push the heels out and see if you can get your outer hip and buttock muscles to awaken. Think about pushing the back of your hamstrings, the back of your legs away from one another. Okay, so that should get this outer band engaged. Again, we're gonna be stretching that in eagle pose. So if we get them engaged now, they're more likely to stretch and want to lengthen. So as you engage them, pressing the back of the pelvis apart, take an inhale, lengthen the chest. You can notice from the side view that I'm not leaning back past my heels. I'm actually directly over. See if you can do the same. Okay, so pressing the backs of the legs apart, full breath in, exhale and bow. Leaning towards your fingers, towards your toes. Inhale, halfway lift again. Exhale, bend the elbows and bow. One more time. Exhale. All right, half lift, inhale. Left foot back as you exhale. High lunge, inhale.
Open up, warrior 2. Let's get the legs warmed up. We'll hang here, press your feet down and draw them toward one another. That'll activate the inner thighs. But then take your right hand outside of your right knee. Gently, with your hand, gently press inward, and with your knee, press outward. So the knee presses towards the pinky toe. Show you from the other angle. Okay, so the knee presses outward into the hand. The hand resists. That should get your outer hip engaged. But a lot of you will turn your pelvis when doing that. Keep your hips squared a little bit to the side of the mat, but still press the knee out. Let's do 2 more breaths. Again, these outer hips, the abductor muscles, they're good for getting up higher in your wild thing pose. That pose is slipping my mind today. But they're also great. They're the muscles that are stretching in eagle pose. So we're heating them up so that we can stretch them. Okay, reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground.
Pivot the back heel up, inhale, straighten through the front leg. Now turn the back toes inward, and that's gonna stretch more now the outer line of the front buttock. So if you turn the back foot, see how the back toes and back foot are in? I think you can see that. Sorry, lift up this hand. Okay, just do the best you can. You may not be able to get it all the way in the way that I have it there. And then you can wag your tail a little to the left, and that'll pull on the right IT band. Your right foot's gonna wanna kind of roll. Don't let it. Press the big toe down. Okay, so we'll just stretch now the muscles we just strengthened so that we can do this eagle pose posture that we'll be doing in a moment. One more breath. All right, pick the back foot up. Come to all fours, hands and knees. And let's just do those scapula push-ups on all fours. So elbows straight. Separate your shoulder blades away from one another. Take a full breath in. Elbows stay straight. Shoulder blades come together. Inhale, protract shoulder blades apart from one another. Exhale, retract. Again. Exhale. Scapula push-ups. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Down dog, exhale. Right leg to the sky on the inhale. Step right foot forward. High lunge, inhale. Open up, warrior two. Now we're gonna do flying warrior, which we've done. It's a version of Ardha Chandrasana. So left hand comes down alongside the back foot. Right hand reaches forward. And we pivot off of the back foot. Okay, so there's a pointing of the back foot that transitions the weight forward, which makes the back leg light, liftable. Lift the back leg tall. Use your side waistline to lift the torso up. So everything is rising. One more breath. One more. Come back around. All the way to standing. Left ankle over right knee. Hips go back, just like we did in chair pose. You're gonna try to lift or press the back of your hamstring apart. So we stretch the outer hip muscles. Take your fingertips down, off to the side. One more breath. All right, come on up. Let's do the second side. Chair pose, inhale. We're gonna hold this. Again, let's warm up the outer hip muscles. So press the back of your hamstrings, back of your buttocks outward. Lift the belly. Keep the hips back. That's what's going to ensure that when you go knees forward, it just activates the quads more. We're not going for that, okay? So let's go for buttocks. Move the hips back, hamstrings out, arms up. One more. Exhale, bow. Half lift on the inhale. We're going to hold here again. Soften the knees a little bit. Press the backs of your legs out. Like you're turning the fronts of your thighs in. That's how you press the backs of the hamstrings and sit bones apart. And then I always remind myself, instead of leaning back, lean forward into the fingers. Now, someone asked me a good question the other day. Thank you, Donna. And she said, well, I thought we were supposed to be anterior tilting the pelvis in Uttanasana. I read elsewhere that we should posterior tilting. So it's all about timing. In short, there's a long answer to that, but in short, you want to anterior tilt to get your way into the pose, okay, and put your weight into your fingers. This is going to give you the most amount of range of motion. Now at this point, once you have a lot of range of motion, if it looks like something what I've got here where you're tipping the pelvis quite far, then you can start to activate your abs by pulling your front ribs back, and you'll feel that your tailbone starts to tuck a little as well. Okay, so that's good here so you don't overdo the range of motion. But those of you that are finding it hard to, put your hands on the ground, or you're finding it really stiff in the hamstrings, then don't do this last part. So timing is everything. If you are, again, more tight, you're going to keep working on sticking your butt up to the sky, more anterior tilt. And if you're more open in your hamstrings, then you're going to tuck your tailbone a little bit more once you're down there so that you don't overstretch it. And also you don't overcompress your hip joint in the front. Okay, inhale, halfway lift. Step the right foot back. High lunge on the inhale. Open up, warrior two. Okay, the left hand to I'm gonna give you the other camera angle. Left hand to the knee. Okay, so your knee Just move it in a little bit. Place the hand outside the knee. And with your hand, a gentle pressure into the knee starts to win. Press the knee out into the hand. Again, don't turn the pelvis forward. Keep the pelvis back. Okay, so your tailbone wags to the left towards the front of your mat rather than to the back of your mat, okay? So tailbone wags directly to the side, really. Then press your knee out into your hand, and you should feel these outer hip muscles over here. Okay, with the outer hips engaged and awake, we breathe. All right, reverse warrior. Exhale, hands to the ground. Pivot the back heel up, turn the back toes in and straighten through the front leg. Inhale. So my back toes are facing inward all the way. Can you see that? Rather than up to the sky. Okay, that's gonna pull on the left IT band, but make sure this ankle doesn't roll out. Keep the ankle rolling in. So you're not putting the stretch in the ankle joint, you're putting the stretch in the outer hip. So we're prepared for our eagle pose. All right. Pivot the back heel back up. Bend the knee. Step the down dog. Let's go forward to plank pose on the inhale. Chaturanga on knees if you'd like. Slide the hands wide, fingertips. Inhale. Soften. Inhale, stretch the belly. Exhale, release. Come to all fours, please. Inhale. Cross your ankles and come to a seated position. Okay, so we're gonna do that same transition that we did the other day, from cross-ankled position to chaturanga. For some of you, okay, for some of you, there will be the ability to jump back or slide your feet back. So the pose that we'll be coming from in the flow is Parshva Janu Shirshasana, any variation thereof. So just come into this with me with the left leg forward, stretch the right side body. And then you'll come up, cross the ankles on the inhale. So it's all on the inhale. So it's, and then exhale, inhale, soften, exhale. Stretch the belly. Exhale. Let's come back to all fours. Cross the ankles, come back to seated position. This time the right leg out to the side. Let's practice. You can do a few moments in your Janu Shirshasana, your Parshva Janu Shirshasana. Now the thing is, I'm at the back of the mat because I've got a computer in front of me and electronic equipment. What's gonna wind up for you is you'll be more at the front of the mat in the flow. And so you'll just be off your mat, forward in front of the mat when you do it. I'll have to do the jump back variation. Okay, come on up. Let's get the breath right. So you inhale to come up and cross your legs at one time, okay? So it'll be like this. Exhale, chaturanga. Okay? And then for those of you that we're getting the jump back going the other day, it's the same idea. So as you inhale, so you come from here, you're gonna inhale, come into preparation, exhale. Okay, now that's very advanced. I don't think many of you are really gonna be doing that. So that's why I give you this really nice, I think it's a beautiful transition. And it teaches you the mechanics. So you inhale, exhale, roll over your knees right into chaturanga. Okay,
And it takes a bit of strength in the fingers when my hands go on the ground. So the fingers are really resisting the whole way. So there's this strong action in the hands so that I'm not like plunking on the ground and hurting the wrist. The fingers are really gripping, okay? So that transition is one of them. The only other transition, yeah, we don't need to actually practice it so much, but let's just kind of get a feel for it before we do the flow. So we're gonna have that nice, let me just think. Okay, from side angle pose to a modified side plank on the other side. So your hand will go down like this and you'll pivot everything over to the side. You see that? So side angle, try this with me, right side forward. And then your left hand comes down and both legs pivot so that both toes face the other direction. Okay? Now that's a big hip opener, which is why we did that hip priming. So it's an exhale, inhale, exhale, hand to the ground, pivot the feet, inhale, open it up, exhale, hand to the ground, pivot the feet, inhale, hand to the sky, exhale, hand to the ground, pivot the feet, inhale, left hand to the sky. All right, that's good on that side. Let's try the other side. A few times of just doing the mechanics and then we'll pair it with the breath again. So left foot is now forward. Inhale, right hand to the sky. Just play a few times, okay? So get your footing. So the front foot turns out, back foot turns in. Okay, then the chest turns. Okay, and then also just check in with the bottom shoulder when you're doing this. It is a side plank. So you place your hand down a little in front, spin the bicep out, and that's what's gonna kind of stabilize the shoulder. These toes face out a lot in order to get into this, okay? Let's do it with the breath. Inhale, side angle. Exhale, hand comes down, pivot the feet. Inhale, left hand to the sky. Exhale, left hand down, pivot the feet. Inhale, right hand to sky. Exhale, right hand down, pivot the feet. Inhale, left hand to sky. Exhale, left hand down, pivot the feet. Inhale, right hand. Exhale, right hand down, pivot the feet. Inhale, left hand to sky. Okay, now, just real quick, the step in the flow will be that you'll come down to your right hip. Wait, hold on, let me just make sure I'm correct. Hold on. One. Yeah, so you come down to the hip, which might require a bending of the knee. So if you're here, I usually bring the back knee down. Okay, now this is a deep hip opener. It's like, it's kind of like this pose here. So let's just, for a moment, work on this Gomukhasana legs, just to make that transition a little easier. Right knee over the left. And what you could do is you can bow a little to the right side. I'll stretch your left hip. Okay, come up. Bow to the right side. I'll stretch your, bow to the left side. I'll stretch your right hip.
Come out, switch the legs. Bow to the right side, stretch the left hip. This is also a really good prep for eagle pose because of the stretch of the outer hips. Okay, come on out. Bow to the left side, stretching the right hip. Okay. So real quick, before we get into the full flow, let's just do that last transition. So if you're in side plank, right foot outside here with a hip stretch, then you sag the hips down and just bend the back knee. Let me see, let me give you another angle. I sag the hips down and just bend the knee so I have a shin here. Okay, that's gonna allow me to come around, take the top leg, turn it out, roll the shoulder, wild thing. And then the same thing, hips to the ground, roll, belly. Okay, let's try the other side, and I'll get to the rest of the flow later. So you're in a side, you just went from side here, transition, pivot the feet, and lower, bend this knee if you need, swing it around. Prepare yourself. Rise, back down, roll. Okie dokie. I think we have it all. We have to finish, I didn't finish the other side though, so come to down dog. Left leg to the sky. Exhale, step. High lunge. Open warrior two. Reverse warrior. Okay, flying warrior preparation. So back foot points, drags, lift up. You're gonna stand up and take the right ankle over the left knee and come on down. That is the exact opposite transition that we'll be doing to kick off this flow after we get into eagle pose. We'll unwind into flying warrior. Which tends to be a little bit easier. All right, come on up. So we are fully prepped. Let's just do our eagle pose. Some of you, eagle pose is fairly easy or relatively simple. Some of you, it's more challenging. So you don't have to double hook the legs, and you also don't have to double hook the arms. I didn't want to spend too much time on the arms, but it's just some key points to make it easier for you to get the most range of motion out of your shoulders. Protract, separate your shoulder blades. So let's switch angles for a second, and I'll show you from the back side, or from the side, I guess. So here's retraction, here's protraction. It makes it easiest to get my elbows across and then maybe getting the arms bound, okay? It's not a hugely important aspect of the flow, just something to complete the posture, over time. That might be something that you like. All right, so try the other side, other arm over. This is retraction. This is protraction. Shoulder blades are apart. It helps me get the eagle arms. Okay, so now, shoulder blades apart helps you get the eagle arms. Shoulder blades together is gonna help you open up for your wild thing. I don't know why wild thing is just not in my head today. Okay, so now I'm gonna keep this angle because let's all do eagle pose one time. I'm gonna actually raise this camera just a tidbit. It's feeling a little bit low to me. Okay. So To get eagle pose, the top hip, it's easiest when it turns inward towards the bottom leg. So you see, this is the top hip in this case. Turn it inward. So if you have a hand on the wall, it makes it a lot easier. And you can bend the knee, and then you can come back. Whatever leg's on top is the hand that's on the bottom. So in this case, protract your shoulder blades. Momentum is your friend. There we go. Okay, just to do the transition out of this, Flying Warrior. Okay, so we'll do the other side first, and then I'll give you time to practice that transition. Okay, so usually facing the other side. So with your left side closest to the wall, bend your left knee. Take your right hip, lift it up, and bring it over to face the wall. So it's turning the pelvis towards the standing leg. That gives you more access. So if I did that without the wall would be over here. Hip up, pelvis turns. It gets easier to clasp the foot, then I can come back. Whatever leg is on the bottom, that arm's on top, shoulder blades apart. Okay, to transition out of this, the arms and legs unravel right into Flying Warrior. Okay, then we take the elevator down, reverse. Okay, now I'll give you a couple of rounds of practicing that transition. We've done this transition before, right? So it's like you land slowly, big toe, ball, mound, heel. Remember that class? Reverse. But the transition from eagle into Flying Warrior. So just take a few times where you can explore, and you don't have to double bind. You can just be like this, okay? You could also just hug yourself, and then you unwind, hand. You can notice, I'll show you on the other side, you notice that my arm and my leg follow one another, so. Oh, I have the wrong arm on the bottom, so left arm, if the left leg is over, left arm is under. Now watch how I unwind the leg and the arms. The arm and leg follow each other. This one. Watch them come back. I'm not as graceful with my left leg as I am with my right, because this one is a little bit stronger. See, I even keep the same angles. Okay, let's give that a shot. And we'll do the whole flow. It's not a very big flow, so don't worry too much here. We've got all the parts. Tadasana. Okay. Right leg is going to initiate into eagle pose. Okay, so inhale, step into your left leg, right leg over, right arm under. Exhale, sit down. We'll hold for a breath in and an exhale out. On this inhale, unwind the right leg and right arm. Flying Warrior. Exhale, take the elevator down. Big toe, ball mound. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale inside the foot with your hand. We're going to do a twist. Right arm, inhale up to the sky. Exhale, right hand down, pivot the feet. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, lower down. Take the top leg over. Inhale, roll the shoulder, wild thing. Exhale, lower the hips, roll onto your belly. Chaturanga. Inhale, Open up.
Exhale, soften. Inhale, stretch the belly. Exhale, release.
Inhale, all fours. Exhale, down dog. Right leg to the sky. Right shin across the mat. This is a big one. Pull your knees toward each other. Rise up, pigeon high. Exhale, hands to the ground. A little bit. Lift the front knee up, move everything back. Bend the elbows, exhale, bow. 2 more like that. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bow. 1 more. Inhale, lift the heart.
Exhale, bow.
As you inhale, lift the heart, swing the back leg around.
Reach the right arm up. Exhale, side bend over.
Hold, full breath in.
Exhale it out.
As you inhale, come on up, cross the legs. Roll forward, chaturanga. I think I can do this with the space I have. Kind of. Inhale, cobra.
Exhale, soften. Inhale, stretch the belly. Release.
All fours. Tuck toes, exhale, down dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Lift the heels, inhale, look forward. Empty it out, hop or step to the front. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, bow. Bend the knees, Utkatasana, chair pose.
Stand, hands to heart. Step into your right leg, inhale. Left leg comes over, right eagle. Hold, exhale, sit. Inhale. Exhale. On the inhale, leg and arm unwind, flying warrior. Exhale, take the elevator down. Big toe, ball mound. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, right hand inside of right foot.
Open it up, inhale, side angle. Exhale, hand to the ground, pivot the feet. Inhale, lift the right arm, stretch tall. Exhale, lower all the way to the ground. Transition, right leg back behind you. Got something in my eye, I apologize. Inhale, open it up. Wild thing. Exhale, hips to the ground, roll onto your belly. Inhale, lift the front body.
Exhale, soften. Stretch the abdomen, inhale. Release.
All fours, inhale.
Tuck toes, down dog.
Left leg to the sky. Step forward, shin forward, shin forward. Lift everything but the front foot up. Move it back as you exhale. 3 times. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bow. Again, inhale.
Exhale.
1 more.
Exhale.
Now as you inhale, sit onto your left hip, swing the right leg around.
Exhale, side bend.
We're going to hold here. Inhale, open it up. We'll do one more breath. As you inhale, come to a cross-legged position, preparing. Exhale, roll forward, chaturanga. Finagled that one. Inhale, lift the front body. Soften. Stretch the abdomen, inhale. Exhale, release. All fours, hands and knees. Down dog, exhale. Full breath in. And out. Lift the heels, inhale. Hop to the front. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, bow. All right, that is the flow, folks. Take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, stretch the shoulders. And I'm just going to give you one modification you can do. Should you want to practice it. Okay, release the shoulders. I'll show it to you. You can come to, so this will be our cool down pose. Take your right knee out to the right. Lizard pose with your thigh externally rotated. Let's see, can you see? Yeah, okay, there you are. All right, and I'm just gonna show you that it's probably intuitive and obvious that you can go from this position here as you inhale. You can go exhale through side plank. Inhale, so you don't have to go all the way to the ground. Exhale. Inhale to plank. Chaturanga. So that's an option. Make it a little bit more challenging, more complex. I'll do it with the breath so you can see how it would work. Sorry, inhale. And so on. Let's switch sides. Left foot outside. Prime the hip if you like. Modified lizard. It's kind of like an in-between lizard, in-between pigeon. You can stay on the left. I'm going to do my right. Since I didn't do the right side, and the right side is my tighter side. All right. Come on out. And take a even wide-legged child's pose. Rest the hips. Come forward, lower to the ground and roll over onto your back. Just take a few moments to let the flow and the hip openers settle into our body.
Time to let go now of any effort, any muscle holdings. Come back to your breath. Awaken slowly by deepening your inhales and exhales. The fingers, the toes. Stretch your arms. Bend the knees, roll to your side. And press your way to a seated position. Place the hands together at the heart center. And with gratitude for this practice and this body, the muscles that we have within it, the ability to activate them and move our bones. With gratitude for this breath that pulses within us. Whether we are controlling it or if we are not, it is still moving. We bow. Namaste. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to share with you. We have a couple more practices left, and then starts the March immersion, which I'm very excited about. So we're going to be doing the trifecta, essentially. Every class, yoga, pranayama, and meditation. So we'll warm up the body, get ourselves feeling good, energized, and feel the blood flow, feel the heat, and then move into a pranayama to be able to move our energy throughout our system so that we feel rejuvenated. And then we move into meditation. Yoga and pranayama are a great setup for seated meditation. It helps us get into that space of calm and peacefulness pretty quickly. All right, and I'll be guiding you through all the practices, so I won't be leaving you just to do it on your own, okay? So there's gonna be guidance to support. So I hope to have you for the month of March. The link is on the page up above, or it's in the email that you got from me. All right, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Just gonna say hello in the chat. Hello, Uta. How are you? Oops. Let's see, my computer's a little slow right now. I know you're all a little bit behind me by the time it gets to you. Oh yeah, I can see in YouTube I haven't finished talking over there. Looks like we got a little drop in the... Bye, everybody.